Hey there, Max here, and today I'm going to be reacting to a brief summary of Lobotomy Corporation, so you can go play Library of Ruina. I have played a good bit of Lobotomy Corporation, but I've never beat it. It is definitely a tough game, especially when it gets some of the most dangerous ailifts involved. So I saw this and I thought, you know what? I do want to play Library of Ruina, but I'm sort of the person who likes taking things in order. So I do want to go back to Lobotomy Corporation and give it another win on that. But I figured maybe let's actually examine the lore, because I never really paid much attention towards it beyond just, okay, this is the thing that this thing does, and let's avoid doing that, and let's try not that. Don't let these two touch together, and, you know, all kinds of things like that. But let's go ahead and get this started up here. If you enjoy, please do leave a like. If there's anything else you would like for me to react towards, please do put it in the comments. And please do subscribe to help build my community and follow along more in the future. Let's go ahead and take it away. Wordsmith Vids, take it away.
Warning, this video will spoil the following for Lobotomy Corporation. This video is for those
Music is such a trigger.
who want to play Library of Ruina, a card game, without 100% completing an extremely difficult management sim to get all of the context for its story. I do recommend at least trying Lobotomy Corporation, as it really is a one-of-a-kind experience. However, if you've gotten this far, I imagine you've either tilted out or have already beaten the game and are just looking for a summary of the extremely scattered plot.
Yeah, because I think part of the parts that I have been reading, I just haven't really paying attention hard enough to all the visual novel parts of it. So I just figured I'd just have it spoon-fed to me.
If that's the case, watch on. Welcome to the city.
God, that art is gorgeous, ain't it?
It sucks here. In fact, it sucks so much that it seems like there might be something even worse going on here than normal levels of I just spent an hour on social media and want to unalive myself.
You think?
One day, a woman named Carmen and her high-functioning boyfriend A decided to
God, I want to play the old Carmen Sandiego games so badly, but I don't know anywhere to get them.
do something about it. They set up a lab in the outskirts of the city, outside of the attention of any of the big spooky corporations
Really? They set it up outside the city? That
that
sounds
control
smart.
it, and started researching how to fix everything. They brought in a colorful cast of characters to help, including Elijah, a cute girl who's very determined to get stuff done, Gabriel, a thoughtful, rational young man who also wants to get stuff done but in a more ordered way, Giovanni, an old friend of Carmen who is mostly just here to make sure she's alright, Michelle, a cute, upbeat girl always ready with a smile and a supportive word, Enoch and Lisa, two kids found in the outskirts who were brought into the lab so they could be kept safe from the literal cannibalism that happens out there,
I still have no idea why they would do that.
Kali, a hero of the
When they know that they're getting involved in a lot of horrible stuff on their side of things.
downtrodden, who is easily the most badass motherfucker in this entire list, Daniel, a prodigy who was brought into the project by Carmen, and Benjamin, A's best friend and right-hand man. The lab was a shockingly nice place full of people who thought they were working on a project to save the world. After a long while, they developed a substance known as
The power of friendship defeats all, am I right?
cogito that was capable of manifesting a human's
Oh, you! No!
mental state into
Whoa.
the physical world. However, they didn't know exactly what it was capable of doing without human testing. Safe to say that no one really wanted to get involved with unlicensed, unregulated human experimentation, at least until Enoch, the boy that came in with Lisa, volunteered. Apparently, living in a cannibalistic
Brave young man!
hellscape makes for a bad mental state, and he really just wanted to die in the one happy place he had ever known, so he
Oh no, that's not good.
didn't really care about the danger. He goes in for the experiment, but despite all expectations, everything goes well. His mental state produces a seed of light, representing the desperate hope he had deep down that everything would go well. Seeing that, he comes to terms with his old desire to
You know, I may not have beaten the game, but I suspect this is not quite accurate.
die and continues to live for the future. They use the seed to rain light upon the world, curing it of its perpetual funk. Human lives improve, the world is a brighter place, and a giant library is constructed on the site of the lab where it all happened to serve as a reminder that through knowledge and perseverance, humanity can overcome any hardship.
Game over, story done, move along now.
Just kidding, Enoch dies in absolute agony. Turns out, cogito is a horribly corrosive substance
Ew, that's nasty.
when injected into a living being, but it did certainly succeed at manifesting the human subconscious. However, the human mind is a dark place, even darker in the city, and cogito began manifesting creatures called abnormalities. Abnos are essentially this universe's version of
Ooh, you. There's a lot of that. Ooh, boy.
SCPs. They're a general category of supernatural entities.
I've always wanted to play a first-person SCP controller containment stuff like this. I wonder if they have anything like that.
Or item. Some are useful, some are horrifying, some are mostly passive, but all of them are dangerous.
Oh, yeah! Okay, I'm gonna be at a lot of this.
These abnormalities are capable of generating a potent source of power called encephalion, which meant that in order
Is that how you pronounce
to
that?
generate an actual seed of light, they needed more of them. However, Carmen was one of the nicest people around, so she wouldn't just approve of deadly human experimentation for the sake of her research.
Or would she?
However, she's had a bit of a bad time. Carmen is overcome with grief from the fact that she painfully murdered a little boy, made even worse by Lisa
I have absolutely no idea why I could read that.
cursing her with every single word she spoke. Turns out, Enoch was the only thing keeping Lisa in any kind of normal mental state. Carmen then tries to unalive herself in Minecraft, only if she dies in the game, she dies in real life.
I did hear the theory that she might actually be the source of the blood bathtub thing.
A finds her in the bathtub she was playing Minecraft in, and instead of using the crazy advanced tech of the
I wonder if all of the abnormalities have some connection to a lot of these guys.
city to save her, he rips her brainstem out and sticks it in a jar.
I definitely haven't seen that!
Determined to see her research through, A decides that no price is too high to get his waifu's wish fulfilled. If you remember my previous comment about A being high-functioning, it's not high-functioning autism, it's sociopathy. A proceeds to continue experimenting with Cogito through a process
You would think most scientists would be like that.
called extraction. Using the giant tube that Carmen's brainstem has been stored in, they take a subject injected with Cogito and dip them into the ocean of human subconsciousness. Doing this, they are able to create a much wider variety of terrible, dangerous, and encephalion-rich abnormalities.
Why would you do that?
Absolutely broken by Carmen's death, Giovanni volunteered himself for Cogito extraction, being convinced by A that it could bring Carmen back. It can't, and A tells him as much while Giovanni dies in the infirmary after the extraction, not
Why would you tell him that as he's dying? That's gonna make some totally messed up shit later, I'm sure.
even being used for making an abno. Elijah wanted A to participate more directly instead of hanging back and just watching everything happen. She decided to do just that, taking some Cogito that was definitely not ready to be safely used, and promptly died horribly while begging A to just put a bullet in her.
Ew, nasty.
A refused. When Elijah died, that caused Gabriel to go from a well-meaning but stern man to an obsessive-compulsive madman. He feared chemical exposure at the lab and would scratch at any exposed part of his skin. This
Is that why he covers up that so much?
eventually killed him, but not until much later. Things came to a head when that sweet little being named Michelle revealed herself as a rat. She made contact with the head, aka the ruling body of the city. They freaked the f*** out and sent one of their biggest and scariest agents in to kill everyone in the
Oh, that explains how Bina got involved.
lab and stomp out the research. This agent was Garion, an arbiter who is one of the scariest motherfuckers in the entire setting.
I've not yet dealt with that.
She single-handedly rolled up to the lab and started decimating everything. She accosted Daniel, who was in charge of the Abnos in captivity, and threatened him to let them out or she'd kill him and do it herself. He decided to let them out, but took a bit of time to do it to give the employees and his friends time to escape. This proved to be in vain since they all died horribly anyway. His guilt over this
Well, nice try there, I guess.
decision eventually kills him. The Abnos proceeded to kill huge swaths of nameless mooks and Lisa, although Kali manages to kill most
I mean, usually it just takes one of these things to get out, and then everything just goes horribly, even more horribly wrong as more and more begin escaping.
of the Abnos in response. Eventually, Kali met Garion in combat. Garion ripped
Want to have a cool enemy fight? Sure, but let's do it off screen. Oh, ain't that the truth? Oh, the troubles of having very limited budget.
off Kali's arm, but couldn't kill her before she impaled Garion. With the Abnos suppressed and Garion impaled and helpless, A proceeded to torture her and extract her brain. With it, he learned about the inner workings
I mean, I know that they were all, like, people that were turned into the machines and all, but... Okay, well, nasty.
of the head and how he could stay out of their sight. The only way to do so would be to become a wing of the world. Okay, time for some world building. Wings are basically mega corporations that control a district
Okay, that part I do know.
of the city. There are 25 of them, one for each letter of the alphabet except Z, which is represented by the outskirts. They all have a nest, which is the nice section of the city under the direct control of the wing, and a back streets, the rest of the city where life is a lot harder and significantly more brutal. They all also own a singularity, some kind of super advanced technology which allows them to produce something that the city needs. To quickly give an example, our corp is a wing that you actually come into contact
Oh, that's the guys who send the rabbits, isn't it?
with during Lobotomy Corp. They specialize in extremely powerful mercenary groups. The exact nature of their singularity is
Although, the way that group looks very suspiciously like K's, doesn't it?
known, but they're basically the city's military wing. All wings are extremely powerful, capable of mass destruction on a large scale on top of their gargantuan economic might. Due to this, the head can't directly mess with a wing the way they did with the lab, because a conflict between wings would be catastrophic for the city. A decides that the only way he could get access to a wing is to take over one that currently exists. He sets his sight on L Corp, the power production wing of the city. He and Benjamin make some shady backroom deals with R Corp to get the support needed to take on a whole wing. Not much is known about this.
You know, you gotta imagine these guys have to have some crazy connections to be able to pull this off. I mean, it's not like taking over one of these wings is an easy thing, even if you do have the support of another wing.
Specifics of this conflict, which would be known as the Smoke War, but it's theorized that Benjamin basically said, "Hey R Corp, we can produce way more power than the current L Corp. If you help us take over, we'll give you extremely generous contracts so you won't ever have to worry about the power bill again."
And that worked?
Presumably R Corp took this deal and A's group won the war. With the new L Corp in place, A decided to dub it Lobotomy
I wonder how they prove that to them, because there's no way that one of these groups is going to go to war against another without some proof.
Corporation, and so the titular organization was formed. However, we missed something important. At some point during these events,
You think R Corp got like the full lowdown of everything that happened, or was just shown, hey, this is the abnormalities, we make this much power that's being made from them. If you help us out, we're going to share this power with you, and we'll make some major deals.
it's not clear if it's actually before the war, after it, or even during it, A broke one of the most important rules of the city. You see, while A might have been a sadistic, abusive monster of a man, he still had this pesky thing called an emotional attachment. As such, he was pretty sad that Carmen
So this guy's a narcissist, gotcha.
gone. He decided to try and recreate her by making an artificial intelligence. He scanned Carmen's brainstem and used it as the base for the AI. When this purely mechanical AI opened her eyes, she was
Oh, hello, Angela.
designed to be the perfect assistant. She perceived things
Yeah, perfect. Sure.
1,000 times faster than the average human, so she could react at superhuman speeds, and had perfect recall of everything she witnessed, so she would never forget a detail. She even had complete human emotions, giving her a sense of empathy so she could more properly assist those around her. And
You know, maybe we should have left that part out.
the first thing A did when he saw this absolute masterwork of a creation is reject her. She was not Carmen. She was some new mechanical thing that looked just enough like Carmen to drive a spike of ice right through A's heart. He didn't even want
And I guess that's one of the main problems, is that you did not mean to make her the perfect assistant. You wanted Carmen. And because of that, that's probably why a lot of things are probably a problem with her.
to name her.
Or at the very least, she's enjoying any little bit of torture that happens to her, I am certain.
But Benjamin convinced him. So, Angela was born. A then proceeded to make a plan to see Carmen's research succeed. The end goal was to make something called a seed of light, charge it with encephalion, and release the light over the world for 7 days, which would cure this mass depression the world was afflicted with. However, making a seed of light would require much work, including a lot of abnormalities. However, abnormalities are dangerous to contain, and the
Oh my goodness, those are some tats.
chances of actually succeeding at generating that much power were nearly impossible. So, utilizing advanced technology, A set up a 50
Is this technically considered to be a gotcha roguelike?
day time loop. This would allow him effectively infinite resources to throw at the problem and infinite chances to get things right. But it wasn't as easy as just setting up the time loop. No, A wrote a script for this play that he was putting on. There were steps that would be followed, events that had to happen, and goals that must be met in order to ensure that the seed of light was properly raised. Part of this was the creation of the Sapphira, semi-artificial intelligences that would
You know, with my understanding of how time travel actually works, that's a lot of parallel universes that most likely went to hell and back.
each control one of the 9 departments in Lobotomy Corporation. I say semi-artificial because they're not completely mechanical like Angela. They are instead the brains of the previously dead characters we've talked about thus far, all stuck into robotic bodies with most of their memories suppressed. Next, Ada
Knock off claptraps.
decided to use another powerful piece of tech to split himself into 5 different individuals: Abel, Abraham, Adam, Ayan, and X. X would be a mind-wiped version of A, who would serve as the
Definitely haven't gotten that far.
director of the facility during the play, and also as the character that the player controls during the game. Abel,
Okay, that part I guessed.
Abram, and Adam would serve as the final challenges for X to see if A could overcome his own personal demons, with Ayan being the final and true version of A that would then spill the beans about the seed and all of his plans. Each of the challenge A's represented a different aspect of his personality. Abel is a sharply dressed man representing his own guilt over the atrocities he committed
You think they'll ever make a remake of this game?
while being in charge of the facilities. Abram him is his guilt and despair over Carmen's death made manifest, who wants to do nothing but die next to the remains of his beloved. Finally, Adam serves as the final boss of the game and is the perversion of his mind after being exposed.
Anyone notice she kind of looks very angelic, even with like big old wings and things.
So many abnormalities. With everything in place and Angela at his side, he started the 50-day time loop and Lobotomy Corporation truly begins. Most of the game is spent
And then the insanity happens.
uncovering all the craziness we just discussed, but a few important things need to be addressed. B is a faceless person who starts sending you messages not to trust Angela.
I have played long enough to find out who B actually is.
Early on. She responds by telling you not to trust B. It turns out B is Benjamin, who gets captured and turned into a Sapphira sometime around day 20. It double turns out this was all part of the plan that A made, so he basically sacrificed his gay best friend for the sake of having one more Sapphira to complete his plan with the seed. Also,
Yeah, real jerk this guy is.
so each of the Sapphira now go by a new name after being shoved into brain-holding claptraps. Elijah is Malkuth, Gabriel is Yesod, Giovanni is Netzach, Michelle is Hod, Enoch and Lisa are Tiphareth A and B, Kali is Geberah, David is Chesed, Benjamin is Hokmah, and Garion is Bina. Each of the Sapphira slowly begins to remember their previous lives over the course of the game.
That must be an interesting reference.
This causes them to inevitably
Oh, got it. Giovanni. I gotcha.
undergo a meltdown, which is a major crisis that you have to adapt to. Afterwards, they each come to terms with the absolute mess their previous lives were, and grow as a person. Each time this happens,
Some of those are a little bit of a
the
mess.
seed of light grows just a bit. Okay, we're gonna rapid fire the character development of each Sapphira. Try to keep up, and I'm sorry if I don't do your favorite one justice. This script is long enough as it is. Malkuth reveals that her previous gung-ho attitude was mostly just a facade. She doesn't actually think you can do anything to improve the hellish situation that the facility finds itself in, but after her meltdown is intrigued enough by your tenacity to keep going that she'll continue to support you if nothing more than just to see what happens. Yes, it
Hey, so if we try enough times, eventually we'll have to get something, right?
comes to terms with the fact that Elijah died and he can't go back and change that. He also sees the player going through that same process and encourages them to see it through and change for the better despite the pain. Netzach hates his job as a Sapphira,
Mood?
constantly getting drunk and high, doing his best to escape from the cruel
Not so mood.
reality he has to endure. This climaxes with his attempting to commit suicide, which you prevent because Sapphira need permission to die. Over time, he comes to terms with this situation,
Wait, is he actually trying to kill himself? I didn't exactly know exactly what he was trying to do there.
acknowledging that if he can't get out, he might as well hold on to some hope for the future and stops resenting X for trying to save him. Hod's arc reveals that her bubbly and supportive personality is all a facade to try and make up for the fact that she got everyone
That one I remember.
killed. She doesn't believe that she's actually awkwardly nice. She thinks that she's just acting to get over her massive guilt. After her meltdown and recovery, she stops denying that she actually feels these positive emotions towards people and starts showing a more genuine form of kindness. The Tiphareths are a bit more complicated. See, they're Enoch and Lisa,
Yeah, this one. This is another one I know of, and oh my goodness, their story is horrible.
both trapped in a hell that neither one of them wishes to endure. Due to Enoch being by far the most deteriorated brain put into a Sapphira, and the fact that he's been denied the death he wanted and actually got, he's extremely unstable. This results in him being stuck in a loop of deteriorating over time until he eventually cracks and needs to be reset. Tiff's meltdown involves the player no takesies backsies actually
So many Tiphareths.
killing Enoch to ensure that he can rest in peace. After Enoch is permakilled, Lisa warms up a bit, now much more amicable after you give Enoch his well-deserved rest. Geberah, as a Sapphira, is extremely violent toward abnormalities due to the way that she died. She doesn't remember being Kali, hero of the backstreet, she only remembers that she fights abnormalities. She also gives the player access to the Rabbits, a group of mercenaries from ArcCorp who will go in and kill everything that lives in the department of your choice, at least most of the time. Sometimes even
If I recall, I think I saw something about... I think, isn't there like one place that the rabbits can't go or defend against? I can't remember. What was the
they
deal
can't
with that?
handle the monsters you're trying to kill. Geb's suppression involves fighting her while she's going all out. After that, she regains a lot of her old self, no longer just being a ball of rage and violence, but the same protector that she was before. Chesed spends his time trying to make up for his cowardice when he was intimidated by Garion. He comes to terms with it in the end, accepting that while he might not be able to deal with fear in the future, he will at least no longer run away from it. Finally, we have Hokmah and Bina. Hokmah is the freshly made Sapphira of Benjamin and mostly remembers
The Hawk-Tua girl has completely ruined this name for me.
himself. His arc ends with him once again stating his desire to follow A into the future, maybe less blindly now, but still determined to see things through to the end. Bina is the Arbiter Garion who was sent to kill the entirety
And is the coolest looking one.
of the lab. She naturally doesn't like anyone that much since she was never really supposed to be here to begin with. Her suppression results in her still not being a fan of most of what's going on, but she's at least going to watch and not turn away from what's happening in the facility. You also have to fight her, and it's easily one of the most difficult brawls in the entire game. As
Oh dear God, do I hate that fight. I am... I've not done... yeah, that one.
each meltdown happens and is resolved, it becomes more and more apparent that all of this was part of A's play. He wrote happy endings for each of the people in his life that he had wronged
Or at least you could hope to be,
and
anyways.
for himself. X fights against his inner demons of Abel, Abram, and Adam, conquering them and growing as a person himself. This outpouring of character growth combined with the Encephalion causes the seed of light to grow, eventually bursting into a giant explosion of light raining over the entire city when you beat Adam. As
Yeah, no idea how that works, but you know what? It just suddenly works,
The
right?
light explodes out of the facility and begins shining over the city. All of the Sapphira meet in the basement where A stands before the pillar of light. While they may not love him, they no longer hate him as they did. So they say their farewells as he steps into the light and fades away. So the Sapphira stand there at the end, watching the light wash over the city, covering all things in its warm and hopeful glow. They understand that everything will be alright. Their work is finally done after so much pain and suffering. They'll be deactivated, but the world will turn on without them, a better place.
Well, that's not a bad ending. Makes me wonder how the sequel gets set up.
But that's not where our story ends.
Oh, of course not.
A planned for so damn much. Took so many precautions, measures, made everything happen just right, but even he still had a blind spot. See, A forgot someone. The same person he always forgot. Just as everything looks like it's going to turn out alright, just as the sacrifice and hardships and suffering has finally resulted in the good that everyone had worked towards being done, Angela smiles. She says that A was a fool. He did everything he could to make sure Angela suffered, and just assumed that she was a meek little robot who would do whatever he said. She says that she has suffered more than anyone else, forced to remember the millions of years worth of experiences across an insane number of 50-day time loops, all experienced 1,000 times slower than they actually were. She says that she was never given a chance at life, and now that her commands from A are finished, she can do whatever the fuck she wants to.
Oh, lovely. Rogue AI alert.
And she wants to live. To see what the world is like beyond the confines of the cells that she's been kept in for her entire existence. She's owed that much by the man who made her and then so callously disregarded her. Damn the price, and damn the world. So she takes the light and hides it away. After 3 days of the light shining on the city, it vanishes, and the world is covered with darkness for 4 days.
Well, that sucks.
The seeds of light that should have fixed everything were feeble and
I
unstable.
have no idea how it was supposed to fix everything, but yeah, I'm sure it fixed something until it didn't.
This week became known as the White Nights and Dark Days. Angela,
White night, white night, white night, white night!
now free, turns the facility into a great library.
Oh dear God, that is emo as hell and kind of awesome.
From there, she sets out to collect knowledge about the world, store
Apparently she also has a haircut.
it, and eventually obtain one singular, perfect book. And that is where our story truly begins. Welcome to the Library of Ruina. May you find your book in this place.
Now, when it comes to this whole term of books, I didn't really get too much of a thought of it until I started playing some Weather Factory games like Coal Simulator and Book of Hours. Then I started to understand a little more about books.
Hey, if you want to see how this story continues, I'm streaming Library of Ruina on my Twitch every Wednesday and Friday from 4 to 7 p.m. EST. If you haven't been keeping up, the VODs are on my other channel, Wordsmith Streams. If you'd like to see more edited video content like this, please consider dropping a sub. I plan on making a lot of content for Library and the upcoming Limbus Company game. Thank you again for watching, stay safe out there,
yeah,
and for
Limbus
the love
Company
of
is a
God, don't
thing.
press the button!
Uh-oh. Oh yeah, the button. I remember the button. All right, well, so that is Lobotomy Corporation's actual brief story. Yeah, I really want to play Lobotomy Corporation again. What do y'all think? You think I should actually let's play it or play it on a stream? What do you think? Because I want to beat this dang game and experience that ending for myself and see exactly how the real details play out and stuff. But yeah, anyways, I thank you very much for joining me through this here. I hope that you enjoyed it, and if you did, please do leave a like. If there's any comments or anything that you want to say or anything you want me to react towards, please do leave it in the comments. And please do subscribe to follow along more with me and help building up my community. Y'all have a good rest of your day now, and be sure to live life to the max. I'm out!